Okay, this PowerPoint supports the first lesson looking at the first motivational theory, which is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow's a psychologist who studied human motivation. In the broadest context, not looking specifically at businesses, but what it's been led on to do is been applied into how businesses have interpreted his findings. Essentially, what he said is what motivates us was our needs, and there's a hierarchy of needs. And for us to be motivated, we must achieve our basic needs before we can feel further motivated. So this was expressed in his this pyramid, whereby you can see at the bottom, this is the very basic needs that we have as human beings. So what he was saying is that if we were denied these things, breathing, food, water and sleep, what would motivate us to achieve these would be survival and achieving these things. Once we've achieved these things, safety was our paramount importance, our biggest concern, and that is having good health, property, resources and security. So once we've achieved these, no longer does the whole idea of just getting food and water and our survival instincts, they no longer motivate us. Likewise, once we've achieved the health, property, resources and security, they no longer motivate us. The next thing that motivates us is the whole idea of love and belonging, the family and friendship, and this is a particularly strong motivator for us. We see this in lots of areas of our lives and society. The whole idea of socialization, friendship, and that social interaction, that becomes a motivator. Once you've achieved that, it would then be self-esteem. So what self-esteem is all about is feeling good in yourself, okay? Getting respect from your family and friends, feeling confident, achieving things, being pointed out for those achievements that you have been successful in. And then finally, once you've achieved that self-esteem, the highest one is self-actualization, which is a particularly subjective thing. It's very much down to personal opinion. However, the whole idea of self-actualization is simply becoming the best person that you would like to be. And this very often manifests itself in being creative, being full of morality, lacking prejudice, and overall just reaching that full potential. So this is what Maslow was saying in terms of his study on human nature, as it were. Now what's actually happened is this has been interpreted into the workplace as well. So what we can see is from our physical needs, we need to ensure that all our workers have a comfortable working environment, and everywhere is hygienic, is clean, and these are referred to as hygiene requirements, things that have to be there, basically. We'll go on to look at a little bit more what hygiene requirements in fact are in other theories, but they're basically the sort of things that just need to be there, so we can ensure that there's access to water, there's access to heat, there's access to food, and this will satisfy our physical needs at work. So once we've got to work, the safety aspect is translated into job security, so we can ensure that our job will always be there for the foreseeable future, and because of that, our wages cover all the basics that we need to live, plus a little bit more. And in love and belonging, now this is a big characteristic of the workplace, and that is teamwork. Having leadership that you respect, very much focusing on this social interaction. Self-esteem, okay, the opportunity to display your talent, maybe obtaining promotions, maybe going up in the hierarchy, being recognised by others, and recognition of your status and your contribution. And then finally, self-actualization, as I said before, is a particularly difficult one, because it's very subjective, it's very down to people's personal opinions, but workplaces can offer this through career development or challenging work, the opportunity to lead, to be a leader. So as an example, Kellogg's, they are interpreting things such as survival and safety, as you mentioned before, good rates of pay, and health and a safe and healthy workplace. Now there are distinct criticisms on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and one of these is that, okay, this structure isn't necessarily a hierarchy in this order, particularly from belonging, self-esteem and self-actualization. It does not necessarily go into that sort of form. Secondly, we cannot make a distinct link, a clear link between that sense of belonging, love, safety, physiological needs, self-esteem, self-actualization, and actually making people be more motivated at work. There's a lot of illusion there, but it's not a clear link between the cause and effect. And overall, all of these things are us as human beings. They don't necessarily mean that they need to be satisfied in the workplace. Now finally, conclusions, very simply, okay, from Maslow's, what he was saying, if our lower needs are not met, then workers won't motivate to produce more. So therefore, if you're talking to a worker and you're not giving them the basic pay, there's no point talking about self-actualization and leadership, because they won't be motivated. If lower needs are not met, the higher ones, therefore, will not be used at all. Okay, once a need is met, it will no longer motivate workers. So once you've achieved that basic rate of pay to satisfy all your needs, there's no point saying, oh come on, if you do this you'll get paid. That no longer motivates. So that concludes the introduction to Maslow's hierarchy of needs.